Around the SPL in 40 minutes, that's us as we round up the weekend football for you with Motherwell captain Stephen Craigan for company. Celtic have put the tight back in title race in the last month or so. They were at home to Hearts this weekend, looking to extend their SPL winning sequence to 6 in a row.
Celtic take the lead.
Brilliant exchange, it's Hooper and it's Stokes and it's 1-0.
Gary Hooper, that's back up to Forrest. Terrific football from Celtic.
There's Dylan McGeer, doesn't want to part with it. It's still McGeer, it's a wonder goal. There is Hooper, he's gone past Gunning once more, and he's found the bottom corner.
So after 5 league wins on the bounce, Neil Lennon wasn't going to be doing much tampering with his team. One change, Adam Matthews injured, Charlie Mulgrew replaced him. Hearts making more noise off the pitch than on it had Ian Black, Ryan Stevenson and Scott Robinson coming in. For Andy Webster, Rudy Scatchell and John Sutton. At Celtic Park was Liam McLeod.
Celtic trying to make inroads. This is Gary Hooper. Well, that is the best chance of the game so far. And it fell to Celtic's top scorer, in from Forrest. Bit of attacking now for Hearts. Medi Taoul. Good footwork. Robinson. Always rising. He's looked fairly assured, the 19-year-old. Robinson in the Hearts engine room. Worth a go. Well, McGowan lost out, and now Hearts could be in trouble up the other end. This is Glenn Louvens. Samaras. He's at the byline. Hooper. Well, the Celtic fans are frustrated with the way this game's going, and the first half's been similar to that of the one against Hibernian here. They drew 0-0 at the end of October at Parkhead. Stokes. He's gone himself. And he stung the hands of Marianne Kello. It's good effort from the Irishman. Hearts looking for a first league win here since 2007. They have won in the League Cup a couple of times since then. This is Robinson. Well, Forster holds on to it. Well, that's a sigh of relief from the Celtic goalkeeper. And Mulgrew did well. Nervy times at Celtic Park. Scott Brown. Kyle was on the slide when he hit it. James Forrest wanted the pass here from the Israeli. Brown. Half-time substitute Scott Brown for Celtic, still awaiting his first start. He's coming back from injury. This is Forrest testing McGowan. Good ball in. Stokes! Woodwork. As close as they've come. He's not been a happy chappy, Neil Lennon, so far in the touchline. And another free kick which is easily dealt with by the Jambos defence. More height than distance that time from Stevenson. Brown. Victor Wanyama. Oh, that's unbelievable! From a standing start, Victor Wanyama scores his first Celtic goal. And what a time to do it as well. 19 minutes from time. This didn't look like it was coming. And he's playing at centre half just now, Wanyama. And they're more relaxed around these parts now. And they almost had a second. Samaras and Stokes involved in this from the key free kick. The Hearts will be despondent to be behind, you would think. That's Driver. Good play by the sub. Medi Taoul. Well, Forster made this look pretty simple to save. Not much power in the shot from Taoul. Well, Taoul will take. the dying embers of the game. It's bouncing about. That was Elliott. Oh, penalty! Handball against Wanyama, I think there. 2 minutes to go, and what a moment this could be, not just today, but in the course of the campaign. There's the back heel from Elliott. Forster thought he'd got rid of it. Wanyama adjudged to have handled it. I think they call this gamesmanship. Samaras complaining the ball is not on the spot. It is now. It's a Johnson, saved by Forster. Celebrated as if it was a goal up the other end. They call this the right height for the goalkeeper. The save still had to be made. Headed away. Instead of trying to kill this off, but we're deep into injury time. In fact, Callum Murray blows for full time. Celtic have won this. Forster and Wanyama, the heroes. And then Brown and Hamill come together. Well, Hamill and Brown had an issue earlier in the second half. Fair to say, Scott Brown's back.
Yeah, I think Scott Brown's getting back to his old self by the looks of that, Stephen. Celtic having closed the gap. It was 15 at one point, it's now back to 4. Desperate that they don't drift further away from Rangers. 6 wins on the trot. You can see how much it means to them at the moment.
Yeah, and it's games like yesterday, Rob, where, you know, that's going to keep them in the title race. You know, maybe they haven't performed as well as what Neil would have wanted. They maybe haven't probably replicated their form of previous weeks, but it's about winning games. You know, coming up to the Christmas period, into the new year, it's about staying in touch. They know they've got the big game the 28th of December. They've got Rangers at home. They'll fancy their chances. If they can stay within 4 points or get it closer, they'll fancy the chances of Parkhead. That's why yesterday was a big win for them.
Victor Wanyama has been a top performer for them. It's amazing to think he's only 20, Kenyan international, and some goal for your first one.
It is. I think he's more of a defensive player. You know, he's played as a sitting midfield player. He's played as a central defender. But you know, it's all hands to the pump when you're looking for a goal. And I mean, Neil said, listen, you know, he doesn't even do that in training. So it's totally out of the blue. He's got it. But sometimes, like, that's the difference of winning the league. Or, as I said, staying in the race. People stepping up to the mark. People who don't expect to perform and score goals, going and doing that and getting the valuable 3 points.
Should it have been a penalty to Hearts? Was this handball?
Well, I can see why it was given. You know, when Wanyama goes up for the ball, I mean, the penalty could have been given for the foul, you know, because it kind of catches him across the face with an elbow or with a loose arm. You know, has the referee give it for a handball? Has he give it for the loose arm? We're not too sure, but I can see why he's given it. You know, put your hand up when someone's going to head the ball. You're giving the referee the opportunity, Rob, of blowing and giving a penalty kick. And Callum Murray seen it fit to give a penalty.
Are you okay with gamesmanship like this, Samaras and then Forster querying whether the ball was placed? I mean, the FIFA rules say the ball should be properly placed on the penalty mark. I mean, that's pretty vague, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's totally what it is. I think Liam mentioned it in commentary. I've mentioned it. It's about gamesmanship. It's trying to put the player off. You know, Celtic Park's an intimidating place at the best of times, but you know, when you're wanting to win titles, when you're wanting to keep yourself on, you need your big players to step up. And Fraser Forster has made a big save for Neil Lennon there. He's made a big save for Celtic, and as I say, got them 3 valuable points.
Interesting to look at the Hearts team selection yesterday. John Sutton disappeared without trace, no Andy Webster. Andy Driver's been on the bench or not in the squad at all recently. Is the Hearts team at the moment being picked for financial reasons? Well,
like, you would probably have to ask Paulo Sergio, but you wouldn't get an answer because he doesn't speak to the press, does he? So sometimes it might look that way. You know, there has been question marks in the past about who's picking the Hearts team and who's making decisions, but I think when you're making so many changes constantly, it's going to upset the rhythm of the team. It's going to try and upset players. But you know, Paulo Sergio was trying to get a winning formula, so he probably has to keep changing. You know, to me, it's not a coincidence that, you know, the pay issue and the bad results, to me, they go hand in hand. There's a little bit of mix of both there. But sometimes you just need a couple of results together, back to back, just to push you on. I mean, because I mean, Hearts have got good players. There's no doubt they've got top quality players, and I'm sure they'll be back to winning ways soon.
Udinese beat Chievo today to go top of Serie A. Celtic play them on Thursday night. How will they do in Italy? They need to win to get through.
Well, for me, they might as well go and have a goal. You know, there's no point in going there and trying to be defensive and trying to get a 0-0 and maybe trying to nick one. Sometimes, you know, you can be your own worst enemy when you do that way. So I would expect Neil to be, you know, positive. You know, I think from 4 or 5 weeks ago, the position they're in with regards to the league in Europe, it's all progressed. They're on a winning run. They've gathered momentum. So I think they'll be looking forward to it.